Hi, this is Jim. I'm a writer, educator, and podcaster. Thanks so much for watching. In this video, suffering is something that most of us run away from. We know it, and by definition, don't like it. Many of us, in fact, define happiness as the absence of suffering. But a big part of life is to seek out meaning. After all, what is happiness without meaning? If we simply try to avoid suffering, we are, in a sense, deriving happiness from a sort of pleasure, which, as most of us know, is ephemeral. So, where does meaning come from? Sometimes society or nature skews the directionality of meaning. Ultimately, however, it manifests from within. If we want to live more meaningful lives, then suffering is a powerful vehicle for getting us there. Involuntary suffering is part of the human condition. We cannot avoid some suffering. Everyone we have ever loved, unless some hypothetical cure to death is discovered soon, will die. Half of the time, marriages don't work out. Natural disasters, mass shootings, car crashes, cancer, incarceration. There's an endless list of potential suffering just waiting for us. Suffering, however, is, like many things in life, information. We live our lives based on this kind of information, otherwise called experience. That is, we make decisions based on experience. We believe, generally, that we make better decisions with more experience. That's why wisdom is associated with age. The more profound the suffering, the more we want to run and hide from it. Senselessness can make suffering more profound. I think of learned helplessness, a concept from Intro to Psych. When a dog, say, gets randomly shot in an experiment, so that nothing it does has any consequences on the adverse stimulus, it learns that it is powerless and gives up. It becomes lethargic and apathetic. Even when some way to avoid getting shocked is presented, it does not stir the animal into action. We humans are not so different. Anyone who has ever experienced depression, for example, understands this sort of feeling well. I was severely depressed in 2015. It took considerable time and effort to escape the inertia of negative thoughts and feelings. Years, in fact, because depression doesn't tend to pop out of nowhere. But having found my escape velocity, I find myself in a happier, more meaningful state than ever. How? Given the depths of my despair, I faced a choice. Give up or live. And living was going to take a big change. So I reflected. I leaned on what I had learned of Stoics, Epictetus in particular. I found what was meaningful and resolved to never return to that gravity well of pain again. What made sense was what I could control, not what I couldn't. Like pressure making diamonds, suffering makes meaning. I think we should always strive to use our experience as best as we can to live happier, more meaningful lives. If we don't, we die. What I'm advocating for isn't easy. You should not occult your feelings, despite temptation. Feel your pain. Process it dutifully and slowly. Understand it. It's necessary to learn what there is to be learned from it. You can only grow stronger from finding the meaning within the pain. Voluntary suffering is another thing altogether. Instead of standing steadfast against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, you are searching for a sea of troubles and diving in headfirst. There are some philosophies that find this kind of volition appealing. Sadism, masochism, BDSM, mortification of the flesh, and so on. Suffering seems to break down denotatively with these examples. Pain in most of them is made pleasure. Mortification of the flesh is an interesting example. Pain is meant to be pain, but the meaning, to deaden desire and to suffer like Christ, is built in. I ask, are these examples of suffering? How much suffering, mental, emotional, and physical, can there be in a process you engage in willingly? Further, where is the senselessness that affects the search for meaning? Something is different here. What does torture say if it is chosen? Exercise, sacrifice, discipline, these are good things. They can yield good health, good morals, and good routines. This general principle is mimicked in a biological phenomenon called hormesis, whereby small, limited exposure to negative stimuli can generally make an organism more resilient. Working out, sitting in ice baths, spending time in sauna can help make one stronger when exposed to harsher conditions. This is a useful concept, especially when life gets too easy, when we are likely to take things for granted and can use a good kick in the pants. The goal, however, is to keep exposure small, stress limited. That's how it works. If suffering were truly the goal, then our health would be at risk because we would seek out maximum pain. We know if we work out too much, for instance, it is bad for us, that our bodies are not able to recover, and that we should rest to recoup what is lost. Likewise, we know that too much heat can create heat stroke. Suffering can kill us. We should not take it lightly. It is Shylock, demanding skin to give. It leaves scars in various forms. I'm uncertain how many scars one can obtain and still have skin to give, but it's not something I'm willing to find out. Yes, when we survive, it helps make us grow, and we can be grateful for that. But we are human, and suffering is always taking on risk. In taking that risk, we are not appreciating the good because we are not protecting it. I am grateful for my suffering, for the times when I didn't want to continue, even though I wouldn't want to relive those times. Because of them, I am better able to calibrate my good fortune, what I have. Today, I am happier and more resilient. In the words of J. Cole, you ain't never gonna be happy till you love yours. Life 10,000 years ago, a time we are better adapted for, was not like today. It was not comfortable. Stressors abounded. That doesn't mean you'd want to go back there. I take living today, any day, over living in the Stone Age. We can be grateful for suffering without wanting it. It can make us better, but that doesn't mean it doesn't, at least temporarily, make us worse. There's never a guarantee with suffering that one will make it out the other end of the proverbial tunnel. Don't bet on that. Commit to the nicks and bruises instead of the slings and arrows to build resilience, gratitude, and happiness. Think hormesis. When suffering does occur, and it inevitably will, you'll be in a better place to battle it and to find meaning. And that's all any of us, half the time, are trying to do anyway. Well, those are some of my ideas on suffering. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment if you'd like, and I deeply appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel and gather ideas and provide you with value. Until next time, have a great weekend. Peace.